Find insight, guidance, and answers. Tune into Spirit with radio medium Laura Lee.
Are you someone right now who's allowing perceptions and people's labels holding you back from success in life? If so, this is the episode for you. I'm Laura Lee on your 5-Minute Spirit Reboot, and I would like to welcome my special guest with me today, who is the president of AdNet AccountNet, which is a professional staffing and executive search firm that advocate for workplace excellence and equity. And she's also the author of Shake It Off Leadership, Betsy Cerulo. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Laura Lee. Nice to be here.
I haven't given much thought about having labels placed upon us until your materials came across my desk. And I thought this was a good subject because it's something we've all encountered in our life, no matter if it's age or our gender or our race or someone who's out there who's disabled. So what kind of labels have you encountered that inspired this book?
Well, the obvious is being a woman and then being LGBTQ and then getting older, ageism.
Right. But you're owning it. And I think that's the key because somewhere in your book, you talk about leaning into the label. So can you explain more about that?
Sure. We are who we are. We've been given whatever journey we are, and you have a choice. You can come to a fork in the road and say, I'm going to accept it as a blessing and lean into it, or I'm just going to, play that victim role, and it's always going to be hard. And sometimes on some days, it's a mixture of both. So I have just gotten to a point in my life and my career where I know that some of the labels still have negative connotations because people out there want to continue to do that. And I can just go along with my life in a majestic way and own it and be proud of it, because the more I'm proud of who I am or what label I wear, maybe it'll melt away the negative perceptions that others may hold or the unconscious bias.
So do you avoid those type of people, or do you try harder to prove to them your other qualities?
Both. So obviously with the pandemic, it's kind of been easy to avoid some of those scenarios. But as the world has reopened and I've gone back into certain instances, I'm more choosy where I go. Given the work that I do in the corporate and government space, there's times I can't necessarily avoid someone that has a negative connotation about my gender, my sexuality, my age. But now I don't run away from it. I speak out more about those labels because it shouldn't matter, and I don't let it hold me back. And if I do encounter someone that's harmful about it, I am going to avoid that because, again, we do have choices whether we want to step into toxicity or healthy environment. And I do my best to open up one mind and one heart, one at a time.
Right. So what would you recommend to somebody out there who's listening to this and they can think of a label that is placed upon them? What would you recommend they do?
I recommend that they look at the label. What do they embrace about the label? And what is it about the label that has them unsettled or a negative feeling? And address why. Why do I feel that negativity? And what small changes can you make to shift that over to embracing and feeling good about it? Because there's no reason why not to feel good.
It's you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all you got.
That's right. That's right.
So what's your big takeaway for our listeners?
Is to embrace who you are, be proud of it, because when you are proud of whatever label you are, it permeates around you. It becomes you. People get it. Not necessarily that you have to go out on a rooftop and scream it all day, every day, but if you just walk in that elegance and that grace, people get it. And, the negativity slips off you.
Love that. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Betsy.
My pleasure.
Where can people find Shake It Off Leadership if they'd like to read more?
You can go on Amazon. You can also go on my website, betsycerulo.com.
And if you like this 5-Minute Spirit Reboot and you would like more, it's also part of the Radio Medium Laura Lee segment, which is on any podcast forum. So subscribe to that podcast and share it. Thank you.